Hi, my name is Alessandro Cangelosi and that's a video tutorial coming from sugicookie.com for Max Cookie. Now we have to continue talking about the new series we are working on, and I mean the Alien Planet mission. And we have to continue modeling the stuffs there and creating the environment, but I like also to start adding more details and maybe some lighting and some shading. So let's select the ground we created before, and we can, for example, imagine that we have another series of detail there, and I like to add this detail with the various maps we are using, and we are there with the displays, and let's add another displays. Okay, and this one will be with just the detail over the terrain there and without detail there. So we need a composite map. Okay, and the first map will be a mask, and we can pick the mask from there. Let's see if the mask is right. Yes, copy, and we can put it there as a paste. Perfect. And we have to manipulate the mask because we don't like to have the stuffs there. So for the moment, let's set to off the various displays, and let's add a cellular, and let's add this map as an instance, luminance center, and let's start adding, let's say, 2 meters. Okay, so you see that we have no bumping there, but we have the bumping there, so we have to work on the mask, and to mask the mountain we are using this map. So we need this one as a copy, and we have to make a masking for this one. So we can try using a mask, keep all map, and this one as a copy. So let's invert the mask. Okay, and you see that we have just some area where we have the black. Okay, so we can continue there, and I like to have just some detail in some area. Sorry. So let's try, for example, with, let's see, it's 01. Okay, less, because I like just some detail in some point. So 002. It is better at 005. Okay, so you see that we have something just in some points there. Let's try with a bigger scale. Okay, so you see we have just some area there. Let's try to have more. Okay, with a little scale like this one. Okay, let's see with the fractal. We don't see it anymore, but let's try to have and higher parameters there. Okay, you see that we are starting to see something. We have obviously to change it, and let's see with more. Okay, let's say 0.15, 0.12. Okay, and I like to have it higher. Okay, so you see that we have some detail just in some points, and it's really not bad. We can mix this map, keep all map, and the second one will be a noise as a turbulence. Swap it. Okay, and let's say 15%. Okay, now we have to scale it. Let's say 250. Okay, with an higher amount of detail, and let's say it is better to set to off the displacement because I have to work on the mask and the map there in a faster way. Let's add again. Okay, you see that now we have this map, and well, I'd like to make it bigger but lower. Okay, and bigger, so let's say maybe 650. Okay, and with more details, and now it can be higher again. Okay. Sorry. Let's see again with all the other maps. Okay, and let's try to have it a little bit more present. Let's see it without. And you see that it is giving a lot of detail to the maps there, just using this map. Okay, save, and we can continue continue working on the environment. And we need something like that. You can see that we have a lot of detail also from the other point of view. There you see that we have a lot of detail on the terrain. Okay, so let's start having another shape on this part, but to lose less time we can make a copy of this one and use on the other side, but we'll change the shape obviously. So let's try to make a copy. You see that it is a little bit slow, and we'll move it there, but we have to rotate it. Let's use the angle snap by 90 degree, and you see that we have a good quality there. We have no possibility to see under the terrain, and actually it is not bad because we can just change some look in there to make it not specular, and everything will be fine. So let's see what we can do with it. Let's rotate the gizmo there. But this one is the wrong one, so let's wait. Okay, undo. And we can simply, let's let's set everything to off. Let's create another camera from this point of view. Then back to the perspective, and we can try to make something again, but we need later the same modifier, and we can copy it from the other mountain. Okay, let's go back there to have the various manipulation, and I like to have this one lower. And we are just changing a little bit the shape. You see, I'm doing something to make it a little bit different, and then we can attach another place there. So let's say to use the flatter, and the size will be 500, maybe more, 200, 2500, and we can lower some area. You see, so we are working on a different shape. Okay, and then so you see it is different. Okay, let's make a clone on the y-axis as a copy, and we have to attach it there. So, or maybe we can do a different thing. We can remove this one, and then we scale the copy we done over the y-axis, and we'll use again the sculpting to make it a little bit better. Now we can think to be there to go and close the shape. So you see we can use a band. Okay, it is not bad for what we have to do. Then back in the camera, let's convert to editable poly, and let's move this part of the mesh. It's not important to be able to see everything there. We are just playing a little bit. Okay. Okay. And we need obviously to add more detail. So one thing we can do is to check the edges faces, and back to remove this one and just use a tessellate. Let's see if it will be a problem or not. No tension. Okay, let's see again. It should be fine. So convert to editable poly, and we can start. Then and 100. Obviously, this area will be not a problem, because you see we have it on the other side, so we can just have less detail without problems. Let's try to add 5 to add a little bit of detail. See, I'm just playing a little bit. Let's say 40, and the turbulence will be 4. Let's go for 400. Then it's too much. Let's go for 5. So you see, I'm still trying to give the right look also to this part of the mesh. Okay. Then let's start playing with the displacement. So let's try to have the same map from this one. Let's try to have this one as a copy, and there as a paste. Let's close this one. Okay, and we need to scale the gizmo. A little bit bigger there, and also bigger there. Okay. But before, you see that we had a turbo smooth there of 2, and let's try to have a turbo smooth also there. So turbo smooth, I think we can stay with it set to 1, because you see it is starting to be really slow. So let's go for 1, and then let's continue working on this one. We can avoid, and let's use the other one. Paste. And this one too must be scaled to be used on the entire mesh. Okay, so that's our mesh actually. And then we can think about what we can set there. So save. And now I'd like to add also a plane, and the plane will be there. Okay, and the plane will be some water. We can call it water. Okay, so then we can have also other maps there to control the color and it will be really interesting. So let's go there, let's start to play with the material, and we can assign a simple water shader from mentor array using the arc and the sign, and let's go for a water preset, and later we'll work on it. Okay, and let's check the distance there from the camera number 2. Okay, and I like to check the distance there. We have 800. So let's set mentor array as rendering engine. It is set. Let's close the other stuff there. Okay, then let's start to have a basic lighting inside the scene, and we can use a daylight, and later we can fix it. And let's go for a mentor array sun and a mentor array sky. Yes, okay, and there we have at maybe 650 the 10% of the visibility distance, and later we'll fix it. Okay, we can save, and I like to start to see something rendered just to have an idea, a rough idea of what we are working on. Show save frame, so we have the frame we are rendering. Let's see if everything is set, and that's okay. Render, and let's see. Okay, we have to remove the maps there, scale there, and start working on the other stuff. So let's select both, and for the moment we stay with a basic terrain shader. Then the water needs a scaling there. In the bump, you see that we have the largest and the slowest. So let's say that we have 5 meters for the biggest and maybe 25 centimeters for the smallest, and render. Okay, so you see that the scaling there, it is better than before. We have obviously to work with it, but we are starting to see something that can be used. Okay, first thing I like to do is to have a different timing there for the light. So let's go to select the daylight system, and let's change, and for the moment we try to stay to an 8 just to make a test. And I like to change this material to have also the ambient occlusion, so we'll go for an arc on the sign, and we stay with a gray color, no reflectivity, and we'll set the ambient occlusion, and we say that the max distance is maybe 10 meters, and let's see what happened. Let's wait for the basic calculation there. You see that the illumination is a little bit more interesting than before, because we have this shadow area there. Okay, so I think we can have a basic approach there. I'd like to see something there on the water we have no transparency. I'd like to have transparency, let's say 0.5. So let's pick the rendering there, and let's say that we like to render just this area. Okay, you see that it's starting to be transparent, and we have to fix there. The problem may be under the water, but we can see it later. Okay, let's save. We need something there to work on to have an infinite rendering. And I mean, maybe if we have something like that, and we have to be sure about the proportion, and I like to have it a little bit down the other. See, it is really big, but we have to be sure that it works fine. And actually this one is with a really low amount of detail. Let's start adding details. So edge of faces, and let's go for 100 and 100. You see, it's really low, but we are starting to have something. Then, so we can have maybe 200 and 200, and it is a little bit better. And let's start using just a noise for the moment. Let's remove the edges faces, and we start to have maybe 3 meters. Okay, let's start to see what we have there in rendering, and then we prepare some maps to have displacement. So it is rendering. Okay, you see, later we can move there the horizon, but we have to tune something before. So let's go there, let's zoom the viewport, let's move the terrain there so we can make it bigger. We can go in the plane and we scale it so we can see. You see, we have a bigger terrain to cover the entire environment. Let's see another preview. Let's see if we can cover this part, or later we have to move this part there. And you see, we have a little bit area there, but later we can maybe adjust it in the skylight. Okay, so let's select again the plane, and we go in the modifiers, and let's use a tessellate so we can add more detail before adding something. Let's change the scale of the noise because I like to start seeing something there, and we can have a bigger strength, 10 meters. You see something now inside the viewport, and let's add there from the modifier, or maybe before we can convert it, and we can add again detail using the graphite, and we can using the shift to move some area. So let's go there. Okay, it is not so precise because we stay in the camera, but we can add some detail. Let's go to remove the render region, and let's go in the perspective, to have a little bit more control on the graphite tools we are using. Okay, back again with the shift, and we can move some area. You see, to add in is too much, sorry. Let's undo. Okay, to add some details and some noise perturbance over the surface, something there, or again, sorry. Obviously the mesh is really heavy, so I have some errors when I move the mouse. So we can continue in this way. You see, it is just to give this result, so the terrain is not a plane. We can use the pinch maybe to adjust there, maybe fixing the scale and the sides of the brush, or maybe I'm checking that the mesh is, maybe it is enough, so maybe we can just try to have the mesh in this way and adding more details using the modifier. And let's add a displace. Let's go there to create a new map to be used with a composite. And let's go in the material map browser. We can use a cellular. We can set to chips. And let's go there in the displacement. We can copy as an instance the map, and let's change the luminance center and the strength. Let's try with 5 meters. It's really low. Let's try with 10, and let's start playing with the texture. 500, just changing the scale to understand where we have the right scale, because the mesh there is really big. You see, we have a lot of detail on the mesh, and now I'm using a really high strength. But let's change again to 5000, and let's go in the editable poly, and we can assign turbo smooth to have more detail, and back to scale the sides. It is a little bit better, but we have to add also the fractal, and let's try to tune the strength there to a lower value. It is not so much visible, so let's go back to the sides, 500, and now it is little, but it is not bad. So let's go there to use a mask to see this displacement just in some area, and we can use a noise. And we can try to have 2500 for the scale. Let's see with more strength. It is not so visible, the usage of the mask, so let's set to off the displace to be faster, and we can go there and sides, use 25 just to see better the map there, and change the low and the high to make more contrast in the noise. And back to 500, and back to the display set to on, and let's go there again to the sides, and let's try with 5000, and let's try with 50,000, and it seems better because you see we have some area. So let's go back there inside the map, and let's see if we change the sides, if we have a better result. And let's try with an higher strength, and then back, let's add a new layer. I'd like to add more detail to the terrain using a noise, and we can set to turbulence as we've done before, and the scale can be for example, let's try with 5000. Let's swoop to have a better terrain look. Let's have the display set to off to be faster, back to see the map there to a sides, a lower sides, and change the low and the high to have a good contrast between the colors there. Back to 5000 and back to the display set to on. Okay, so we have maybe to tune these parameters there, and let's see what happens if we have 50,000, and let's see if we have it higher. Let's try with 80. Okay, you see that we have this detail there. Let's say that it's mixed at 50% with the other map, maybe 65%. And let's see, but before I save, I like to see what happens if we have one more iteration there in the turbo smooth. Let's wait. Okay, and let's go back to this one, and let's say 10,000. Okay, let's say that we have just 25%. It is really slow because we are using this panel there, and this map 2 must be lower, let's say 50. Or maybe 75. And then we can see how it looks inside the rendering. Back to the this render region and render. Let's wait for the translation. We have a lot of polygons. Obviously you can do it using the displays, but actually I prefer to use the modeling in this example. In a future tutorial maybe we can use directly the displacement micro polygons. Okay, so you see it is preparing the final gather points. You have the possibility, if you need to speed up the rendering, to have less polygons there, so you can use just one for the turbo smooth. Let's see how it looks. It seems not bad, really not bad. So it seems a good quality actually to work on. So we can move, for example, there. Let's go there in the turbo smooth, save, and actually to make our test, let's close. We can use 1 and back to the sky. Let's move a little bit the horizon. You see that now we have 4 million polygons less than before. I like to see how much we have to move. It is not bad in this way. It seems really not bad. So back to the entire view and save. And you see that we have the basic parameters there and modeling for our environment, and later we'll add more detail, and we have to work on the shading, the lighting, and some effects I like to do, and the sky, and really interesting things we have to see inside this tutorial. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.